Greetings, Exalted Ones. Star Wars element here, and man, this whole unexpected movement for Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA 2017 ever since May the 4th throughout this month because of all the Star Wars Fortnite stuff that's been going on recently, and especially for Andor Season 2's recent success. Star Wars Battlefront 2, the EA 2017 reboot, has had quite the unexpected resurgence lately. The game had its last content update back around April of 2020, and then around January 2021, Star Wars Battlefront 2 had a new record player count, at least on Steam. The new record from 4 years ago was over 10,000 players, and recently, with especially last Saturday's Star Wars Battlefront 2 Resurgence Day, as the community called it, Star Wars Battlefront 2 had a new concurrent Steam player count record of over 18,000 players. And it's just been part of this whole new movement to really push for Star Wars Battlefront 3 to be made. And I may be getting late into this movement myself. But while it is still around, I would like to make this video and with 5 ideas for 5 features I'd like to see in a Star Wars Battlefront 3. Forgive the rust, because I haven't done a video like this in a long time. I'm not going through specific lists of characters, maps, game mechanics, or even a story mode campaign that I could imagine or might be able to imagine for Star Wars Battlefront 3, but just 5 features, one more time, that I would like to see in a Star Wars Battlefront 3. First up, private/offline multiplayer matches. Now, from what I can remember, EA Battlefront 2015, that previous reboot of Star Wars Battlefront, did have private matches where you and your friends can play online multiplayer with each other. It doesn't always have to be you and your friends against other players from around the world, or just you and your friends mixed up with all those other players. You could have the option to have your, again, private matches, so it's just you and your friends. EA Battlefront 2015 had this, and I wish more online multiplayer games in general would do this kind of multiplayer feature. And next up, these 2 features tie closely to each other: expanded instant action. Now, if you compare the offline instant action mode from the classic Star Wars Battlefront games to the arcade mode of EA Star Wars Battlefront 2, you'll see that they work quite differently, where most, if not all, of the game modes and maps from instant action from the classic Star Wars Battlefront games, particularly with the classic Star Wars Battlefront 2, most, if not all of them, are also available for the online multiplayer and vice versa. But when it comes to the arcade mode in EA Star Wars Battlefront 2, there's just a limited amount of maps and game modes, and they also differ more often than not from the online multiplayer versions of those maps, especially when it comes to certain maps like, say, Camino, where they're smaller and more restrictive in the arcade modes compared to their online multiplayer counterparts. Overall, with this, I just wish that all the content from offline play can be available online and vice versa. And like I said, this ties in heavily to the next feature, spawning from command posts, and also changing classes at the command posts. At least when it comes down to me, most of the time I play exclusively co-op mode, and while that mode, and I believe Supremacy, used to be Capital Supremacy, brought back the command posts from the classic Star Wars Battlefront 2, they don't work quite the same, because while you are able to, at least on co-op mode, capture the command posts, you can't exactly spawn at those command posts, nor are you able to change classes at those command posts. Every time you die on the battlefront and you choose your class, you can't and you spawn, you can't go up to a command post and switch classes. I wish that the feature would come back just like that from the classic Star Wars Battlefront games. And the 4th feature on my list, perhaps this is a more minor feature, but it is more first-person views, especially for special classes. Now, it's one thing that the Jedi and Sith characters, whether it's Anakin, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan, even Kylo Ren and Rey, don't have their own first-person modes, but when it comes to special classes like the Clone Commandos and the Commando Droids, they're only in third person, but it would be also nice if they were able to have a optional first person mode, just like all the other classes. Like just imagine if officially, without mods, you choose a Clone Commando, you could be able to play that Clone Commando in first person like it's Star Wars Republic Commando, but with EA's modern graphics. So yes, more first person views. I'd like to see all of that applied to all the classes, besides the Jedi and Sith characters. And last but not least, squad commands. Just like the ones from the original Star Wars Battlefront from 2004, they were simplified a little bit from what I can remember off the top of my head with the classic Star Wars Battlefront 2, which will be turning 20 years old later this fall, by the way. A little fun option if you could have squad commands, at least with the AI characters. You may or may not agree with this one, especially when it comes down to like modern game design. Nowadays, what would you use the squad commands for other than just to let the AI controlled characters follow you or move out? At least that's how it was from the classic Star Wars Battlefront games. But imagine if we had that in the newer Battlefront games. This is just something to throw back to, again, the classic Battlefront games. And those are the 5 features that I can think of that I would like to see in a Star Wars Battlefront 3. What would you guys like to see in a Star Wars Battlefront 3? Any features or gameplay mechanics you would like to see? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for tuning in. Star Wars Element signing out, and I shall see you in the next one.